Like a dog in the street.
Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
All right, another embarrassing loss, maybe the most embarrassing loss of the season for the Minnesota Vikings, and quite frankly, one of the most embarrassing offensive halves in the history of the team, 65-year history of the team.
Yeah, it's got to be right up there with, the Spurgeon win game? I think that was in Lambeau. I know the Tavares
The
Jackson.
T-Jack game was in
The
Lambeau.
T-Jack game was a Thursday night game there. Yeah, this is right up there. No question about it.
Sans the Joe Webb first drive, but the wild card game in 2012, outside of the first awesome drive by Joe Webb, I think that was also a very lifeless performance by the Vikings offense. Yeah, it's up there. It was really bad.
But as Chad Coyne 2240 points out in the Purple Daily YouTube comment section, at least we know the kicker is good. That's right. Don't blame Big Leg Bill knocking home a 59-yarder. So this is Vikings Vent Line. This is the place to be after every single Vikings game. And unfortunately or maybe fortunately, because it is a therapy session that's free for you guys, these have been more reactions to terrible losses than the other way around. It is the People Show, and we will turn it over to you guys here shortly after we give at least our key takeaways, the most fan-friendly show in Minnesota sports here. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Maybe you're just stumbling into the Purple Daily YouTube channel for the first time. Click that subscribe button and the like button to help spread the word about this awesome community here. If you want to get on the show, send a request to vikingsventline@gmail.com. We'll try to get to as many people as possible in the next couple hours. Keep it clean, get to the point, give your take so we can make room for as many people. We got the Sports Dad Judd, I'm Phil Mackey, Declan Goff here. And Judd, before we give our biggest takeaways from this absolute bleep show, this disaster at Lambeau Field, Quick Trip can help get us in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, you know what? I need something positive. I need a winning team to talk about, and that is exactly what Quick Trip is. I mean, Quick Trip, look, they're good in all phases. Gasoline phase, outstanding. Quality gasoline guarantee. Food phase, outstanding. Drinks, coffee, the crew coffee, the drinks available, outstanding. Yes, that's right. They don't muff punts. They can get yards on offense. Everything the Vikings couldn't do today, guess what? In their world, Quick Trip is perfect at, and that is why Quick Trip should be your one place to stop. Tomorrow is a Monday. You're going to be down after this loss. You're going to be looking for a pick-me-up. I've got the answer for you. I've got the right play call. It's Quick Trip.
Also, North American Banking Company presenting Vikings Vent Line here. So, all right, as the room populates, as Declan gets frustrated Vikings fans in, Joe, what was your number one biggest takeaway off this game?
Oh, that was absolutely putrid. The second half, and they talked about this on Fox, and they're right with Joe Davis and Greg Olsen. That was unwatchable football. There was at one point, I think it was late in the fourth quarter, when Joe Davis gave a stat that the Vikings had run 9 offensive plays in the half, minus 21 yards, and at the time, 2 turnovers, make that 3. That was putrid. And look, I know that we've been on the train. I think all 3 of us is you got to give McCarthy a chance to keep playing, because that's the only way he's going to progress. But we also talked about it would be nice to start to see some signs, and the first drive was pretty good.
Yeah.
The first drive, I actually liked it, but the second half was unwatchable. He melted down again. He's back to taking sacks now, and okay, not all those sacks were his fault, but a bunch of them he held on to the ball. If you did the Mississippi count, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and watched him back there, sort of just like patting the football. You can't do that. This is the National Football League. As far as, Kevin O'Connell, I think they said in his 4 years as coach, the differential in the run to the pass in the first half was his largest first half differential. So he was trying to run more, and it worked for a while. But other than that, J.J. McCarthy was putrid. Would I be completely shocked if J.J. McCarthy doesn't get the next start? I have to say at this point, I would not be. Now, I personally would just continue to start him. Yeah. But there comes a point where that is some of the worst quarterback play I've seen.
It is. There's no sugarcoating. And obviously, there's other things around the quarterback play. Darisaw got his ass kicked against Micah Parsons a few times today. And there was a couple spots where you're like the TJ Hawkinson sneak thing again on 3rd and 1. And there's definitely some small little slivers to reserve. But through 6 games, with the exception of some brilliant little flashes here and there, culminating with today, this is some of the worst quarterback play we've ever seen watching the Vikings, straight up. And this, when we posed the question last week, who has the stomach for this? Greg Olson, who's been privy to behind the scenes conversations, production meetings, people that he's still connected with in the NFL, he referenced throughout the second half some big picture conversations that need to be had with this organization after just a handful of starts. So yeah, it feels like it is moving beyond, well, he's a young quarterback and he's just kind of struggling in his first few starts. Because I do believe all young quarterbacks deserve grace of 10, 15, 20 games, figure out what's happening here. But he looks completely lost at the line of scrimmage now as well. There's been some times where, okay, pre-snap looks like he's got a handle on it. Today, he was lost as a thrower. He was, once again, the inaccuracy ramped up as the game went on, as the pressure started to mount. And you got veteran teammates like Aaron Jones having to come over and, pop up his chin to pep talk him. And so, while I am still interested in letting the long game play out, because you got 7 losses at this point before Thanksgiving, what's the difference? You might as well figure out what you have here. I wonder if he's not reaching a floor, to your point, saying that, hey, they might be an open conversation for the Seattle game who starts at quarterback. Is there a certain floor that he needs to? It's like when you're running a marathon and they got the sweeper at the 8-hour mark that, hey, man, you don't have to run a 3-hour marathon, but you can't run an 8-hour marathon, okay? Right. Otherwise, there's a truck that picks you up, and sorry. Is he in danger of being picked up by the sweeper, the quarterback sweeper at the back of the marathon? That's my question.
Here's a conversation. We don't have to have this right now, but it probably would be a good conversation for tomorrow's show for sure, which is, are you doing him, and this is my question now, are you doing him any good by playing him? What is doing right and wrong by the quarterback? But I mean, it looks so bad now. If there is something to develop, are you doing it, or are you doing JJ McCarthy and everybody else on that offense a disservice by trying to force him to continue playing?
Yeah. Dex, I know you're popping people in here and spinning a bajillion plates, but what was your biggest takeaway off this game today?
Yeah, I mean, a pretty lifeless performance, which is why I threw that in the headline, because it was super lifeless. And it was an incredibly uninspiring game. We talked about going into it that this was probably this is the least fanfare and buildup we can remember in a Vikings-Packers game. And I was even going back because it's week 12, week 13. I don't know what week it is right now. It's late in the season, 12, and I was trying to figure out when was the last time it's been this long in a season before the Vikings and Packers first played each other. And you have to go back to 2012. They didn't play each other for the first time that season until December. So it was it's been this long build-up, and that can always kind of rejuvenate a fun fan base, and it's a great rivalry. And to just lay a complete egg like that, very, very uninspiring. And even though I spent a good chunk of my day last week watching the film from JT O'Sullivan, there's no film breakdown, in my opinion, to go back and watch of man, what could have been different here. That was just a complete ass kicking and a kid that looked completely in over his head. A lot of nitpicks, but in general, just a completely uninspiring performance by the Vikings offense today.
Yeah. So let's get to, and we'll have a million more things to say here. Strap in. Almost 6,000 people are here for this group therapy session. Again, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel and the like button on this video. Click the like button if you're just sick of this atrocious offense. This is not only the worst offense of the Kevin O'Connell run, which he set a fairly, not a high bar, but they've been a competitive offense in the chaos here. This is bordering on one of the worst offenses over a stretch that we've ever seen watching the Vikings here, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on it as we cope. So, Dex, who do you want to go to first on Vikings Vent Line?
Yeah, I think Phil is at Lambeau. Phil, how was it, man?
You guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
man, fire away.
Okay, Wisco, Phil, I called a while ago, a year back, I think, talking about people wanting Kevin O'Connell's head, and I think there's some validity behind some aspects now. Now, I'm not a big person. We're going to step off here. That wants Kevin O'Connell gone by any means, but there are some severe oversights for this team. Some severe oversights. And I think the biggest thing is that this team was built up because we won last year, and it's clearly nowhere where it needs to be at. Now, some high points. Will Reichert's a dog. I mean, that dude nailed some kicks. I think that's going to be the best pick that Kwesi ever does, because I think he needs to go. Kwesi needs to go. I'm over it. I'm out on it. And there was some high points. I do understand the frustration still with JJ, and I will for the rest of the season, because I think he does need to play. JJ did have some dots, though, today. He had some balls that were on point. As you hear the go, Pack, go. This is bitter. This is bitter, folks. I'm not happy about this. But the biggest thing, I got 2 more points. The first one is this Christian Darrisaw. Viking fans, we need to raise the alarm about Christian Darrisaw, because him stepping out of the game early, I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
Yeah.
Christian Darrisaw got pulled early, and he was off the whole game long. And the biggest thing here is that I understand the frustration with JJ, but there was some high points with him. And I think there's stuff to build off of. Batted passes. How many batted passes did we have this game? I didn't see any. So there's things that are being called out in these meetings that he's clearly building on and he's getting better at. It's just, what does that look like in the future? How many games does it take for him to get better at? I want to hold hope, and I want to get better, and I'm excited about this team. But, I mean, you talk about the interior defensive line that was supposed to be scaled up. Nowhere to be seen today. None. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that. Go ahead and spiel on that as I keep walking here. But I hold hope for JJ. Not going to be a fun walk out of this Lambeau field right now, but thanks, guys. I'll stay tuned as I walk out.
All right, Wisco Phil, appreciate you, man. Kicking us off strong. Do you feel like, do you come out of that game today? Because I have with some of the other 5 starts where, boy, there was a lot of bad, but wow, the good was really interesting. Yeah. Is there any sort of the good was interesting from that game today?
Here's why I don't. I mean, it was awful from the quarterback. And look, they're like, I will say this, for instance, situational masters my ass. You're not situational masters. You're situational buffoons. But to go back to McCarthy, no, because you know what this did? Now, the Ravens game, I defended him because I thought they set him up to fail, okay? The Bears game, I thought was better. And today, he was 12 of 19, 87 yards, 2 picks, sacked 5 times. Again, not all on him, but he's not absolved, right? The Vikings had 19 passing attempts and 20 rushing attempts, in part because they didn't have a lot of plays. But the point is, no, I am not going to blame Darrisaw. I'm not going to blame the defense. I saw one there. I actually think that the defense, for the most part, did their job. 23 points, but keep in mind, one of those was at the 5-yard line. I'm not going to complain a lot about them. This was a game in which it literally felt like in the second half you had no chance, and that is very disturbing to me.
Yeah, I wish Positive Phil could find something here in the immediate aftermath from a quarterback standpoint, but the sacks were back, the indecisiveness. Darrisaw was getting beat a lot, and there was a foot thing in there. He was in the blue tent, so he's probably going to show up on the injury report this week, and I'm sure they're going to look to be careful with him because the season's over. But the first sack that Darrisaw gave up to Parsons, I tweeted about this. So Darrisaw sort of, instead of going back into get depth as a pass protector mode, he sort of jump set Micah Parsons to just get hands on him at the line of scrimmage, which would indicate a quick game pass. If you know that it's going to be boom, boom, out, like 1 step or 3 steps and out, you can get away with maybe jump setting to get hands on a guy early. And if he gets around you, he's not going to have enough time to get to the quarterback. And they also had that concept going out to the right on that same play, where C.J. Ham is sort of lead blocking on a swing pass drawn up for Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones looks out right away after 2 steps expecting to get the ball. So Jones looks over to get the ball. Darrisaw jump sets Micah Parsons. That was I'm an amateur at this, but that was a designed quick game throw out to the right, and McCarthy is staring out to the left 10, 15, 20 yards down the field. It's weird. It's okay, what's the disconnect? Do you not know what the play that you just spit out is, or is there some disconnect in the design? Stuff like that. It's one microcosm of what went wrong today, but it felt like a lot of that type of stuff where doesn't even know what the concept is or what he's supposed to be looking at. Let's go back to the vent lines here.
Yeah, let's actually get our guy Leighton from the Before I Die podcast in on here. Leighton.
What's up, Layden?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? First, I want to shout out my girlfriend who actually is a Packers fan. She's dancing on my grave right now, but she spent her hard-earned money on this jersey for me, and I just wanted to showcase it one last time before I probably put it away for good. But yeah, it feels as if the Vikings are trying to do two things at once, to where they're trying to win games and hide the flaws of JJ McCarthy, but yet they're trying to develop him at the same time. In no way, shape, or form are teams in the future here going to watch this film and be like, number 9 can beat us. He can move this offense, even with their weapons. He can move this offense down the field consistently enough to beat us, to where teams like the Packers are going to run the ball down the middle, only throw it on third down, and just play conservative, because they know the only way the Vikings could potentially stay in a game is if the defense makes plays, if they get an interception, pick six, fumble, whatever it may be. They just know as long as they don't turn the ball over and shoot themselves in the foot, as the Vikings do all the time, they're most likely going to at least stay in the game, and if not, just win it outright and make it easy as can be, to where he doesn't strike any fear into opposing defense's eyes. And I don't know what we're developing when we're running screen plays consistently. We're not passing the ball until we absolutely have to pass the ball. It feels like we're fighting two battles at once, and I honestly just don't know. Again, with the playoffs being so out of reach, even going into this week, it felt as if maybe you'll just kind of let it rip and see what he can do and see if you can walk into Lambeau Field and get it done. But they just didn't even try to make it happen through the air until they absolutely had to.
Yeah.
The problem.
Shout out, Layden.
Yeah.
Thanks, Layden.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
The problem is this, though. This is what we had called for, because he did allow it to rip previously, and it wasn't working. And then we said, I thought rightfully so, you're sort of setting him up to fail. So let's have a distribution of run and pass and short passes. Like today, I didn't feel like today was we're going for the win day. I felt like today was we're trying to develop this kid, and it's been rough, right? So I'm not going to criticize O'Connell for not allowing it to rip when I ripped him for allowing it to rip.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah.
I said I'm not going to criticize O'Connell for not allowing JJ to rip the ball when I ripped Kevin for having him try to rip the ball, depth of target. So I'm backing off.
I think I needed a third time.
No, I'm done. But anyway,
Good try. It's all right.
I get the point. But I felt today was an offensive game plan about developing him, and you just didn't get squat.
Yeah. I mean, it was... Yeah, the last couple of weeks there's been some like little nitpicky things here and there in terms of, I'm always going to complain about the third and fourth and shorts. To their credit, they actually ran the ball heavily in those situations. I just don't, okay, can I be nitpicky about who you give the ball to? If you're going to give it to someone if you're not going to quarterback sneak it, or you're going to direct snap it to a non-quarterback, how about direct snap it to Jordan Mason? I don't know, but it didn't feel like McCarthy was being sabotaged by what he was being asked to do. Greg Olsen said it best in the second half. Mm-hmm. At some point, hey, these are NFL football games, and you're down by 2 touchdowns right now in the second half, and it's time to run NFL football plays. And you can only protect a quarterback against the flow of a game so much. I think in the first half, when it's scripted, you can do your best, but there's going to be games that get a little out of control, or you're trailing on the road in the second half and they have Micah Parsons. That is a real world scenario in a lot of NFL games. Swap out, you could swap out Packers for Steelers and TJ Watt. You could swap out, you're playing the Raiders and they might be crappy, but you're losing in the second half and they have Max Crosby. Like, that is real life in the NFL. And your offensive line is going to break down sometimes if you can't find an answer to the test in the face of pressure. And again, balancing it with, he's only played 6 NFL games, and it's hard to figure out what the other team's trying to do with their stunts and their blitzes. It's hard. I get that. But it feels like there is a floor and a basement for what it needs to look like, even in your first few 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. And, I'd like to see him again against the Seahawks. I'd like to see him again for 6 more games so we have a more definitive sample size. But he is the last runner in the marathon right now, and there's a sweeper behind him named maybe Kevin O'Connell, by the way, named Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, and this is going to get real interesting if he continues to play this way. Or maybe it won't. They'll just do what the Niners did with Trey Lance and say, yep, let's bail on this. Can we go to Chansey right now, actually?
Yeah.
I see Chansey and Fargo in there. And
Chansey.
I know he's pissed, and he might even light us up. But Chansey, the floor is yours, dude.
Yeah, hey, guys. So, I was thinking, we all watch football to have fun and enjoy it because football is supposed to be exciting and interesting. This isn't fun. It wasn't fun today, sitting on my couch. It wasn't fun watching that Atlanta game. It wasn't fun watching the Chargers game. It wasn't really fun watching that Bears game. When you talk about the Wilfs and not having the stomach for it, I don't either. I don't have the stomach to sit and watch this garbage. Judd made that point. The 9-to-5 worker who looks forward to football on Sundays, this is crap. This is no fun. If the Vikings want to play this way, people won't watch. That's what will happen. They're the most popular team in Minnesota, and they bought themselves a long runway, and that isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But football needs to be entertaining and enjoyable. I called a couple of years ago, and I went through the Spielman-Zimmer-Cousins rant on the radio. And we could do the nitpicks. I could go down the Miles Price, what are you doing route. But the bottom line is in the NFL, the GM, the coach, and the quarterback are responsible for winning. That's it. There's a reason for it. They're the most important people. So they get evaluated at a much higher standard than Miles Price. All right? So here's the deal. The quarterback doesn't do anything well. Nothing. I even thought at the beginning of the year he was going to scramble a little bit. We got the run in from the Bears game. He doesn't even do that well. He takes sacks. He looks, frankly, weak. It takes nothing to sack him. A paper airplane can knock him over. He sails the ball. He looks inept. And then we have Kwesi, who can't draft anybody. His draft is littered with mistakes. This free agency class looks terrible. The team looks old. The offensive tackles look like they're at the end of their run. Harrison Smith's done. His jersey can go in the rafters anytime. He can retire. It doesn't matter anymore. The team looks old. And then KOC. I mean, the shine is gone. The play calling is terrible. He's running TJ Hawkinson. He refuses to run. Does he know what a slant route is? Does he know? Does he not know what a slant route is? Because every route has to be 20 yards down the field or a 3-yard check down. Does he not know the middle of the field exists 10 to 15 yards? Anyway, he is supposed to be an offensive coach, all right? An offensive coach. He had to sign off on this QB draft selection. He cannot get a pass. If anybody wants to tell me this was Kwesi or this was it, no. Kevin O'Connell is an offensive-minded coach who played quarterback in the NFL who must have signed off on this pick. If the pick flames out, KOC owns it. Just as much as Kwesi. Probably more so. He's proved he could develop other quarterbacks. How come he's not developing this one? Well, you say the quarterback is a bust. Okay, well, did he look at the film? Did he interview him? Did he study the tape? I don't know. I'm not a quarterback expert, but KOC's supposed to be.
Is it, Chansey, is it possible that KOC only paused the Drake May tape long enough to take a few glances at J.J. McCarthy's tape while he was begging his front office to trade another first-round pick for a different quarterback?
I know that's been a narrative. Let me talk to you guys about another narrative. Here it is. Young quarterbacks, they take a while. We got to give them some time and all this. Let me tell you about some quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud, first year, playoffs. All right. Jaden Daniels, first year, playoffs.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, first year, starting quarterback, playoffs, right? He got those years to watch. Okay. Now let's go Caleb Williams, second year. He's going to go to the playoffs. Bo Nix, second year. He's going to go to the playoffs.
First year playoffs.
Second year going to the playoffs again. This narrative of that, well, we got to give this guy 3 to 4 years to figure out if he's got anything is antiquated. All these young quarterbacks have proven you can step right in and play. I just listed 6 of them or 5 of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
That is an old school mentality. Now, am I saying the guy should be cut from the NFL right now and put out to pasture? No. But look, it couldn't have went any worse. The start to his career, honestly, I don't know if could you have drawn anything up worse.
No, in fact, no. And these are a lot of great points. Real quick, Chancey, so you started calling into our old radio show like probably 10 years ago. Have we ever we've never given you the Vent of the Week prize before, have we?
I got the Crybaby Craigs earlier this year.
Oh, earlier this year you did. Oh, I can't give it to you again. Okay,
No,
I already short memory.
Wow, you're honest. Chancey, kudos, man.
Wow,
kudos
bad memory by me.
for honesty.
And that's some great hot sauce, and the powder you put on the popcorn is really good too.
That's right.
Awesome.
That's
All right.
right.
Well, thanks for the honesty, and there's Phil's great memory right there.
Please don't let KOC off the hook. We don't want to fire KOC because he's had a couple of 13, 14 win seasons. He owns this pick. He has to own it. He can't get away from it. If Rick Spielman owns Christian Ponder, then KOC owns this.
Yeah. No, Chancey, spitting fire. Let's keep the momentum going here. Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Sure. Let's go to Garrett next year. Hey Garrett, what's up, man? You are on Vent Line.
How's it going, guys? You guys hear me?
Yep.
We got you, Garrett. Yeah, man.
I just I don't understand. KOC decided to pick JJ McCarthy. Same with Kwesi. I don't see any improvement. I mean, I feel like he's going downhill at this point. I mean, he kind of started off hot in Chicago, and then Atlanta. I know he gets hurt, but it's just like, where's the improvement? And I get it. I mean, I've been a JJ McCarthy fan, and I really don't want to bring it up, but did we really let Sam Darnold just walk out the door for free? I mean, I feel like we could have gave him that money. And Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, are they really making that big of impact? And they were some of the big, cap hits this offseason. So, I mean, I hate to bring it up because I don't want it to be true, but man, it stings to see Sam Darnold. And I know he struggled against the Rams, but man, JJ McCarthy, he just looks like a deer in headlights, and I don't know where we go from here. But I appreciate you guys letting me on. It's our first time, so thank you guys. But I don't know, man. This is it's an uphill battle from here because now we got a ton of cap. We don't have a ton of cap space, and McCarthy's been struggling. So I don't know where we go from here, but we'll see what they can do.
Yeah. No, Garrett.
Good stuff.
Thanks for jumping in here, man. It is kind of amazing just how quickly life can change in the NFL. I think this organization, from ownership down, has always found a way to bounce back from very rarely have back-to-back train wreck years, let alone 5 years. They always find a way. But it is kind of interesting how you can have a ton of cap space. You can have that top 10 overall quarterback, that head coach who's winning coach of the year. And here we go off to the races. And now you are essentially mathematically out of the playoffs before Thanksgiving.
And almost nothing that they did worked. Like any plan that they have, if you take them and silo them off, almost every one of them failed. Nobody has played up to the level that you expected or been used. McCarthy's the talking point and will be, but I mean, this season has been, to quote Stephen A. Smith, an unmitigated disaster.
I love it when he busts out. Yeah, it's unmitigated disaster, and then is it unmitigated? No, unmitigated disaster, and then something gall.
The gall.
There's another word in there.
Okay, I don't know, but it's been that.
Yeah. Okay, back to the Vent Lines here, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Yeah, let's go to Cade. Cade, what's up, man? You are on Vent Line.
How's it going, fellas?
What's going on, man? We're coping. Copenhagen.
Rough day, like what Chancey said. It's tough to watch football, right? Mm-hmm. It's just a pathetic. I got 3 points for you. Kwesi needs to go. Everyone's been saying that. You guys said it. Needs to go. And the scouting department needs to be evaluated. Needs to get cleaned out. Needs to be. You guys said that also a little bit with those two other fellas. My point number 2: trying to be cute on 3rd and 1 with the Hawkinson tush push, whatever you want to call it. Pathetic. Run the ball where you have Jordan Mason, where you made basically a great trade for Ed Ingram, basically, and you got him Jordan Mason for free. Run the ball. Yeah. My point 3 is kick the field goal. Take the points on the road. It's if you didn't have the muff fumble and you would have kicked the points, it's a one possession game. And your defense is on there 6th most in the NFL, and you can't have that every week, every game. You know, it's bad, and play calling needs to be way better. But yeah, Hawkinson, you need the goal, like you said, cut him at the end or trade him. Yeah, go ahead, fellas. Hey, I want to watch the Wild too. I'm watching the Wild right now.
What's the score?
0-0.
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
We're hot. We're red hot. 8-1-1
Judd's
West
Hockey
End.
Show, by the way. If you're looking if you're sick of the Vikings and you're looking for other Score North podcasts where we bitch about other teams, scorenorth.com, the Score North app, great central hubs for all of our shows.
I'm Mr. Positivity of late. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, this team's been playing
Wall
really,
of
really
St.
well.
Paul, we got
well,
everything.
so let's go back to the play calling again. Like the Hawkinson call, I despised. I did not like the fact that on that first drive, they started off running the ball. They got to about the 50, and then they started to pass the ball like 4 consecutive times. So there are things there that bug me. But overall, I don't think play calling was like the thing today that I'm going to focus on. He just looked terrible. JJ McCarthy just looked terrible. I don't know. There's no way to like find a workaround, right? Like you're giving him chances and you expect at least small progress to be made. And it feels like not only is progress not being made, it feels like as games go on now, he's getting worse, which is weird because the Chicago game to open the season, he was bad for 3 quarters and then had a really good fourth. And you're like, oh, clutch gene. We talked about it. Clutch gene. Well, he's going backwards now. And if I'm correct on this, I think the Vikings ended up with 4 total yards of offense in the second half.
Yeah, I think that at one point, I think like maybe even early fourth quarter, they had minus 10 yards?
Yeah.
They were like negative yard, or they had ran 10 plays, minus 1 yard or something like that.
They got 26 net yards in that last drive to put them positive.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, who is it? Judd's pie chart or Dex? Dex pie chart.
Me.
Dex pie chart.
It's going to be.
I think
ugly.
I don't know if it were me putting together the pie chart. I'm trying to figure out like no. I want to say something about the Hawkinson play.
Yeah.
Like if Kevin O'Connell would pop up play calling wise, I feel like he'd have to get a 3 or a 5% sliver. Not that play did not necessarily. If they get it, maybe they go on and do something different on that drive. Maybe the game flow is different. But my issue with it is his complete lack of awareness of what's happening in the game and his obtuse, like he thought to himself, this play is on our play chart for this weekend against Green Bay. I think he decided that they were going to call that play on Thursday or Friday as he's going through his play sheet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he is removing all context of what's actually happening in the game for the first half hour or hour of real time of, holy cow, our offensive line, which is together for the first time. This is great. And now, of course, 2 guys leave the game early, so it's probably the last time you'll see him. And Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones are carving this defense right now. Just absolute gash after gash after gash. So we've got 3rd and 1 deep in Packers territory with 4th down behind us here too. That's one of the times where I'd say, hell, you've been road grading. You could call a little play action in that spot, baby. You know, they're going to probably sell out to stop that run that they can't. That's a great time for a play action on 3rd and 1. But if not, just keep giving it to Jordan Mason. And so the fact that he deviates from the actual thing that you're carving the Packers with to, I had a bright idea on Thursday in my office that I need to mix in right now, drives me nuts. And if you're going to rank players on the entire roster after the running backs and a quarterback sneak of, if you're going to get tricky on this play, who could you give the ball to in a 3rd and 1 situation? Like hand the ball to. TJ Hawkinson might not be in my top 15. I would list non-skill position players ahead of TJ Hawkinson on that pecking order. And so like he's slow-footed. He looks completely cooked, by the way.
Yeah.
Even when he does catch a pass, it's like he's just kind of folding to the ground on every single play. Totally. He's the 3rd highest paid tight end in the league. So I don't know it wasn't the reason why they lost, and J.J. McCarthy is the headline here, but that just the calling of that play was like, dude, are you immersed in the game, or are you thinking back to the meeting on Wednesday and Thursday? It's almost like we ripped the Twins for deciding what the pitching changes are going to be at 2:00 in the afternoon before it's like, oh no, what is happening in the game right now? Have the circumstances changed at all?
How about a quarterback sneak? It's 3rd and 1. You could do it twice. I mean, yeah, it's just
or just give the ball to the
But-
guy who's been gashing the whole time.
well, they
Power
tried
up the
though on
middle.
4th and 1 and didn't get that one. But the point is, this game just comes back to one guy. It comes back to McCarthy.
Yep,
We can
I
complain about anything else. This is a very disturbing day too, because this gives me like no real hope for the Seahawks game. Like if I had seen something like the Lions game, wasn't great statistically by any means, but it gave you hope, right? You're like, oh, okay, let's see this again. And you're like, okay, build off. I mean, O'Connell talks about this all the time, building block games, right? Build off this, build off this, build off this. I feel like we're in the basement again now.
It does feel like Seattle on the road is one of the 3 or 4 last places you want to be coming off of what just happened, right?
Yeah.
Like if you could say, you get to eliminate 3 possible games for after this, and then you'll just get served a random game. You'd probably take like, well, we don't want to go to Seattle, so we'll take that one off the board. Like going to Arrowhead would be a bad thing, and maybe another game. So, all right, back to actually, you know what? Before we get back to the vent lines, let's quick shout out Standard Heating and Air Conditioning here at Dex for helping to power this vent line edition.
That's right. Yeah, it's cold's coming up, man. Cold is coming up. Even some snow in the forecast in Minnesota for the holiday weekend. So if you haven't already, book your HVAC tune-up now. Make sure that furnace is good to go. You do not want to be waiting on the fritz. And if you haven't done it in a while, even more reason to do it. Go to standardheating.com. They've helped out in my house multiple times. They also power our hottest takes, which I'm looking forward to tomorrow on Purple Daily. Join their smart club, standardheating.com, to join that smart club. Discount on repairs, priority booking. Go check out standardheating.com and book your HVAC service today.
Also, a Black Stag Brewing is a great spot if you are into craft beer. We're talking world-renowned craft beer right in St. Paul, Minnesota. But also, if you're looking to bring friends or maybe even coworkers for any type of gathering to one of the largest tap rooms in the state of Minnesota, they have a 190-inch big screen TV. They're also every single week they're testing new concepts and new beers. And so the new beer right now is called Local Drops. It's an IPA collab with Barrel Theory. They also have non-alcoholic beers, hard seltzer cocktails, boozy slushies, root beer that they brew themselves. Oh, yeah. And when you stop into that tap room, mention Purple Daily for $2 off a 4-pack. And also enjoy a beer on tap. Purple Daily when you walk into the Black Stack tap room. The Canopy Group also powering this therapy session, Judd.
They absolutely are. And while a lot of people want the Vikings GM out, guess what? When it comes to the Canopy Group, you would not want their GM and those good folks out, because what the Canopy Group is an in-state based independent insurance company that has your best interest in mind. And much like that sports executive constantly on the lookout for the best talent, the Canopy Group does the same for you when it comes to getting the best insurance coverage at the best price. What they do is they work with 16 group of top-tier companies to make sure you have the best insurance roster available for auto, home, health, and business. And then at renewal, they are going to get in touch with you to make sure that everything is as it should be. So give them a call, 1-800-967-3389, or check out their website, thecanopygroup.com. That's thecanopygroup.com.
Okay, back to the vent lines here. Dex, who do you want next?
Yeah, let's go to Shannon next. Shannon, what's up, man? You're on vent line.
Man, do you guys remember that 49ers playoff game a few years ago where they didn't have a quarterback, and I think that's why they made the new rule for the emergency quarterback, and they couldn't throw a pass, and they were calling. That's what this game looked like. I mean, we had it's like, do we have somebody that's the low level of quarterback play that we're protecting them that much? I mean, there was a Broncos game where they had that receiver play quarterback, and, they amped him up just like we were amping up McCarthy for all these weeks. And we're talking about the one good throw every week. He made 2 great throws. And I mean, that's what it looks like, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about – yeah.
If you're still buying stock, I think I gotta sell it.
Well, there's not Shannon, thanks for jumping on here. That's the thing. Okay, well, you're selling your JJ McCarthy stock to who? And you can – I'm still scooping up a little. I'm still scooping up a little bit here. You want to buy low, sell high. So this would be the opposite of that if you were to sell your JJ McCarthy stock. But it's getting a little sweaty if you're holding a lot of JJ McCarthy.
I don't know, man.
Right,
I think after
you're
today,
bailing?
I don't feel good about this at all. I don't. You know what? I just don't. Again, I'll go back to what I said before. I don't know if you can keep throwing him out there. Like I'm all for it personally, but it's become it's almost like the rubbernecking of a car crash now. Like, do I want him out there because I think he's going to develop, or do I want to see just how bad this can get? Because my God, I don't think it can get worse. But I just don't know if you play him against Seattle. I guess here's my question: are you developing him at that point, or are you just creating more problems? Because he looked like a kid who was just shot confidence wise. As the game went on, it looked worse and worse. And then to your point, Phil, you got guys trying to prop him up, which at least like last week, he was still trying to prop guys up. I don't know, man. I don't. This is really tough. This has gotten really, really sticky.
Yeah. And what we don't know is what level of patience does Kevin O'Connell have, because I think at the end of the day, like, front office can have their opinion, ownership can have some opinion, but I think they all sort of look toward Kevin O'Connell as the final say for that decision in the offseason.
I thought what you brought up that Greg Olson said towards the end is at some point in time you have to start to play an NFL game. Like you can't keep. That's got to be in O'Connell's mind, right? Like, he's responsible for developing McCarthy. He wants to, but you've got a team that's got guys like Justin Jefferson and Addison, who had one catch today, maybe? I don't even know. But anyway, I guess my question is, like, Greg Olson's really good at articulating how real football men feel about things. And that to me was a very interesting point. It's like, at some point, do you just have to say, this isn't professional enough? I can't do this to this team. That's my question.
By the way, you were generous on the Jordan Addison projection. Zero.
Okay. Yeah.
Zero catches.
I thought he might have caught one at the end.
And then Thielen, of course, who has spent more time ripping NFL referees on KFX and radio than catching meaningful passes for the Vikings this year, had one bounce right off his chest in a spot where you could have used a couple positive yards. So, yeah, like, the rest of the roster is also just, if you needed the roster to rise up and carry this young quarterback, that's all falling apart in a lot of key places too. Yeah. So, all right, Dex, back to the vent lines.
Yeah, let's go to Kellen next year. Kellen, what's up, man?
How you gentlemen doing?
Hey, man.
Okay, honestly, I just got some quick points. I'm actually very sad right now, but it feels like in multiple weeks, KLC has like a play that pretty much changes the whole trajectory of the game. Today was that Hawkinson push. I still don't get it. He's barely allowed to be put on run plays to block. Why is he allowed to be put in to put like an actual push? KLC can't really adjust. Everyone wants to say, oh, he doesn't scramble a lot and he's looking down play. But remember what Josh Dobbs, when he came in, he was running around and then kind of phased out. And I found something funny. It was actually in a comment section on one of your videos. Someone said that KLC is the Kirk Cousins of coaches. And given how you guys had a bunch of comments on Kirk, I would really love to hear what you guys have to say about that, because I wholeheartedly agree as the #1 defender of the Kirk Cousins crusade.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, the Kellen, #1 defender of
#1. I miss Kirk.
Wow.
Even though he's washed. He is washed.
Well, no, there's half a chance that dude might be the backup looking to win a job in purple next August.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
You've turned on him. You're his #1 defender, and you've turned on him.
Same thing with Hawkinson. He has not healed from that injury. He's just not there anymore. It'd be better to, honestly, like, I don't know if JJ's trash. We don't know. But I just find it interesting that we blame a young QB over a head coach who's, like, shown us he has, even last year, it felt like the scripted plays, first quarter, amazing. Second quarter, third quarter, falls off. Fourth quarter, we have to come back against, like, mid-team sometimes. So we're just seeing a pattern. I feel like it's KOC. I truly don't know. But in a perfect world, we elevate Flores, bring in Dayball, give this one more try.
Wow, dude, I love it. Kellen spitting.
That's a lot of
reckless speculation too. I love it. So.
That's a big payout for KO to go bye-bye.
Speculation.
Yeah, well, I think I would be shocked if one kind of rickety season here after you win 14 games, you revive Sam Darnold's career, and you win NFL Coach of the Year. That buys you at least 2 years after that. But we still have a handful of games to be played this year, and maybe the bottom has not been reached yet. So, Dex, let's keep rocking here on Vent Line.
Yeah, let's go to Kobe next year. Kobe, what's up,
How you guys doing, man? Good to see you guys again.
Hey, Kobe.
2 points. So, Judge just stole this from me, so I'll keep it brief. But yeah, that first drive, we're marching down the field with the runs. And then the first pass play, I think it was a good JJ, kind of mid downfield first down, and then his first down, second down, third down throws that ends up in a 50-something yard field goal attempt, which, okay, is good. Good news, guys. We got the best kicker in the league, but, that's still the difference between a potential touchdown. But like you guys have stated, that's not the reason we lost. It just kind of just shows those nitpicks and everything. This is the first time, honestly, that I am all season that I'm feeling not selling like one of the previous callers said, but just where I'm like, I don't know if I have the patience. And I know it's because we've been spoiled with a bunch of decent average guys, even down to the Gus Parrots and the Brad Johnsons and everything, and so on. But it's like we are just not used to these 4 or 5 win seasons. I think we're tied with the Steelers or something for the least amount of those type of seasons. And I just don't know how long the journey it is. And since we can't predict that he's going to go from 2018 Josh Allen into something good, it's just hard to watch. I don't have to get on the hot play. You guys have touched on it enough, but I will say as far as the hot trade, the drafting, even down to pairing himself with the Colts GM who never gave a top 3 QB in Andrew Luck, anything, made him retire early. I just don't know why we keep Kwesi, and I don't want him going, but I think that's that. I'm not from Minnesota like you guys. I'm one of the Virginia Vikings fans, but what has he done? And you kind of just talked about this too when you said, hey, one bad season isn't going to get Kelsey fired, and I wholeheartedly agree. But it does raise the question of, are there any type of changes beyond a potential JJ change, which we're not sure about that yet either, that needs to happen? Like I remember bragging a decade ago, like, because it doesn't matter, but bragging, oh man, we got a superstar coaching staff. We got North Turner, we got Mike Zimmer and all this stuff. And it's like, it's kind of the same. We got, KOC who has these great flashes, and then also a defensive stud who we argue should he be back in head coaching. But it's like, is it really getting us anywhere? Do we keep it because of namesake? And you just talked about a bad season isn't going to get him fired. And again, I agree, but like, what is he doing? Because you have that 13 and 14 in your back pocket, but we haven't won a playoff game. Mike Zimmer may have been 11 or 12 wins as a peak, but we are getting a couple wins every so often. A win every so often. So just things of that nature. I think that's all I have. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but that's just how I feel. It's a really down game. I usually show you guys Nathaniel when I get on. I'm not in the mood to bring my dog on TV. Don't allow any dog on this episode. But no, that's all I have, guys. If you could speak to any of that.
Yeah, Kobe. Good stuff. I mean, right now, if the season ended right now on this note today with no further improvements, is it fair to say that the ownership would have, trickling down to whoever they want to include in these discussions, they have major decisions to make about who runs the front office and what are the key pieces in that front office leading into a critical draft and quarterback. Do you want to sign up for 17 more games?
Well,
is it unfair to close the book after six games, or maybe it winds up being 12 games at the end of the year?
Yep. So I agree with Chancey. Like, the quarterback to me is O'Connell. Like, there is no way. Kwesi did not go rogue and say, we're going to take this guy. Now, did Kwesi push to get a young quarterback with a far more attractive contract than a veteran? I'm sure he did, because it just makes sense from a cap standpoint. But I also don't think that Kwesi said, we are taking J.J. McCarthy, screw everyone in this room. I think that, so Kevin definitely absorbs a lot of the responsibility. But the other questions, the drafting questions, the why the draft's been bad, the free agency failures. And by the way, in fairness, we gave Kwesi a lot of credit for that 2024 free agent class, so he's going to get a lot of blame for 2025. I think that's a different bid, and I think that's where there could be a change. Like, O'Connell's not... He just signed an extension. He's had enough success. Now, if he sticks with McCarthy, if he's like, screw this, I'm sticking with the kid, and we're going to come back in 26, and we're going to be great, and we have these problems, he will be on a very hot seat. Like, that could cost you your job. But nothing, in my opinion, is going to cost Kevin O'Connell his job for the quarterback. I do think, though, that you could see some changes because independently of that, the free agent class has not worked out. And it mirrors, as we talked about on Purple Daily last week, that magnifies, I should say, it magnifies the issues Maya?
Yeah,
Little Maya?
she feels very strongly about the future
I don't blame her.
of the quarterback position.
Barney's right here. He's been hooting and hollering himself. But that magnifies, I think, the issue with the draft classes when the free agents don't work out.
Yeah. All right, Dex, who's next on Vent Line?
I think Danny is slamming beers in Lambeau. Danny.
Hey, Danny.
He's
I don't
definitely
think Danny.
in Lambeau.
I don't think Danny knows he's on right now.
No.
Danny. No,
Just having a good old time.
We'll come back to him.
We'll
He
come
doesn't
back
know
to
he's
Danny. Hey, Jonathan, what's up, man? From Winnipeg. What's going on?
Hey guys, well I'm watching the Wild game too. Just maybe a different outcome I'm hoping for. But I wrote down some notes, Judd. I got on my first of all,
Fine job, Sports Son.
burn the flag. That's what I'm thinking today. So the first one, special teams and D. You know what? This is probably beating a drum. Special teams has been awful. Brian Flores is probably the best defense he's had in a long time, and well, it's not looking good. And look, I know everyone wants to talk about Sam Darnold and how it sucks. Regardless, win or lose, if Sam Darnold goes into the first round of the playoffs this year and absolutely pisses down his leg, it was the right decision to move on from him. Third, positional coaches. Ed Ingram and Garrett Bradbury have been terrific for their respectable teams. And here, they couldn't block a cornerback. So, and the last thing comes down to, this is my biggest gripe with this team right now, is drafting and developing, okay? I watch the Jets, you watch the Wild right now, different sport. Who are the top 4 players? They're both drafted by their teams, whether it's Connor, Scheifele, Hellebuck, Morrissey, or in the Wild's case, Faber, Boldy. Look at the goalie Wallstead. It's all been drafted and developed. Like, this team just cannot do it. We keep whiffing and whiffing on draft picks, and it's just killing us. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No, thanks for jumping in.
That's exactly right. Like, these drafts now are just killing you. It's just killing you. And look, the quarterback's a first-round pick too. But there is no question that there needs to be, as Thor has said, a heavy audit of how they are doing things. Because we can complain about Spielman's draft, but you go back and look, and there's some really good picks there. I'm hard-pressed to come up with, Addison is the best pick by Kwesi, right? And then the next pick is probably Reichert, the kicker?
Mm-hmm. I think Reichert is maybe the best pick.
Or he might be the best pick. But anyway, my point is it's a kicker. Like, that's your best pick. So that's a problem.
Reichert's legitimately one of the 4 best kickers in the NFL. It's kind of crazy.
He's going to make a 70-yard field goal before it's over.
It's just incredibly Vikings that they have a nails kicker in the most meaningless season in a long time.
He's not even going to get anywhere near a clutch January or February kick, at least this year. Okay, back to the vent lines here. Therapy session still rocking. Over 6,000 of you hanging out. Thank you, guys. Please click that subscribe button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel and the like button on this episode of Vent Line. And we'll get to the next one here.
All right, let's go to Theo next year. Hey, Theo.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. Long-time listener, first-time caller. And that game in itself made me feel like I had to call today. I'm from Forest City, Iowa, the home of the Waldorf University, if you guys know where that is. Wow. Awesome. My dad has been a fan of the Minnesota Vikings since they came to Minnesota. He remembers growing up in Emmons, Minnesota, the first 7 years of his life, a small little town. And his dad came home one day and said, "We're getting an NFL team." Like, he was so excited about it. And he's went through all the roller coaster ride and misery and punishment. But some fun times in there, of course. My dad and I just went to a game last week when we played Chicago. Disappointing, but this is where I just want to go with this. I think a lot of the Minnesota Vikings issues start at the very, very top. I like the Wilfs. They're good owners. They will spend more money than many owners do. But this whole competitive rebuild concept that keeps getting peddled over and over again is why you're seeing a lot of these issues that you're seeing right now. You have one of the oldest rosters in the National Football League. You have a GM that cannot draft right now. And like you were just saying, maybe the best pick has been Will Reichert. I mean, the guy is money. He's absolutely awesome. Jordan Addison's been great. I like him, but the off the field stuff, I don't know where we're going with that. But I think seriously, and this was mentioned too, brought up about Mike Zimmer era. Like the last time we've had a serious playoff run was probably the Minneapolis Miracle year. And so looking now, Kevin O'Connell hasn't won a playoff game. I could go on and on about that, but it's like, okay, we move on from Sam Darnold. That keeps getting brought up over and over again. He's lighting it up. Last week was a stinker for him, but he's throwing the ball. I'm just looking for competent quarterback play at this point. Like I had some shades of hope. My dad and I are standing in the end zone watching last week at US Bank Stadium, and JJ McCarthy goes down the field 77 yards. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe we're flipping the page here. And then it's like super regression now. And I don't even know what it is at this point. I don't know if it's over coaching. All I hear about over and over again is mechanics. It doesn't stop. And I understand that it's really important, but that's stuff I was expecting training camp in the spring. Like, I know he's missed time, and I've been super patient with him. I was on Thor's stand, guys. I was with him. Like, I thought J.J. McCarthy is going to be the guy, but after today, I have a lot of questions, and you have to wonder, you have one of the best wide receiver duos in the league with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, and here we are. How many passing yards did JJ have today? Under 100?
Theo, thanks, Theo. Appreciate your. He had 87 passing yards. 87 passing yards. None to Jordan Addison. Also, Jefferson was 4 for 48, 6 targets only. They only threw 18 passes. They tried to throw more, but the sacks and whatnot. But again, Hawkinson too was supposed to be this weapon that helped elevate your quarterback, and this, we all kind of fell into that trope as well. 4 catches for 19 yards. He has one of the lowest, if not, I think maybe the lowest, if you take all of the number one tight ends in the league, yards per catch in the entire collection of them. There's just nothing there. There's no separation. There's no yards after the catch. It's just catch the ball, fall to the ground. So, but again, it is a quarterback discussion, and it's just not. It is as bad as I want to be patient, and I want another year and a half of this. I have the stomach for another year and a half of this, but it has to be at a certain level, because if you have to iron out too many things, and now we're getting into year 3, year 4, now we're talking contract. There is some immediacy to the results. I think you have to exercise some patience, but you need to see more than what you're getting right now through the first 6 games from McCarthy.
If you continue to see this, I do not think that you go in to training camp next summer with him having a full plate of snaps. Like, I just don't. I think the Wilfs are going to say absolutely not. We can't do this. Like, because this is going to turn, as we can see by this show, this is going to turn fans off completely. Like, this is going to cost them ticket sales. They'll still do fine, but it will cost them. How about this for a stat? Naylor and Addison combined 2 targets, 0 receptions. Of those 2 targets, one of them was picked off for Jalen. J.J. McCarthy completed more passes to the Packers on his throws to Addison and Naylor than he did to the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's wild, man.
I mean,
that's
bad. Some crazy stuff.
It's so bad. It's so bad. All right, Dex, who's next on Vent Line here?
Yeah, let's go to Nick in Iowa. Nick.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yep. We got you, Nick. Yeah.
Hey, longtime listener, first-time caller. Love you guys. We're leaving the game right now. We came last year, so it was great last year. This year sucked. Number one, fire special teams coach. Said that 3 weeks ago. It's on him. Like, they got bailed out on that. I feel like with that timeout with the 12 man on the field, it's like, how do you do that?
No, that was, what happened there? They didn't have 12 men on the field. They had 11 men on. They had 11 men on the field. And one of them, Ivan Pace, panicked and freaked out and started running off the field. I don't know what.
Somebody must have been shouting.
We were away from that end zone, so.
It was bizarre. Yeah. It's one of the most bizarre things I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been it's been difficult with the special teams. I do say I just hope they have the guts. Like, if this goes the way it's going the rest of this season, like, I know you guys have talked about it a lot with. The Wilfs don't like to do it, but man, do they have the guts to kind of blow it up for a year? You know what I mean? not like blow it up, but they just like have a lot of old guys, like you said, on the team, and it's like, can they do it? But to do that, they got to get rid of Kwesi. So anyway, I love you guys. I love listening to you guys. Yeah, it was not a good day. So I've never sat that long for a Viking game. The second half, it was bad. So appreciate
Nick,
what you guys are doing. Love the content.
Hey, safe drive back to Iowa. Just a slow slog back to Iowa after the Vikings had 2 yards in the second half, whatever. By the way, Kevin O'Connell and J.J. McCarthy have both spoken to the media, and we'll parse apart any relevant quotes from that session here. But Kevin did say that our margin for error is pretty clearly razor thin right now, which I think is a reference to the playoffs, right?
No, well, hearing that comment, I think he probably means in games. So like the Miles Price play, because it was 10-6.
Okay.
I think he's talking about our offense sucks so bad that if we make errors outside of it, we are going to lose football games.
Yep. Yeah, that was, and add that to the list of. Listen, Matt Daniels isn't necessarily at fault for Miles Price fumbling against Baltimore or whatever, but the Vikings special teams have the second most penalties of any special teams unit. You had just one of those ridiculous mental blocks today of, okay, if you're going to let that punt land behind you, and Greg Olsen explained too that I get it, you're going to try and block so that ball gets to go in the end zone for a touchback, but dude, you're standing at like the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
And it's a grass field too, by the way, so it could like chunk and hit backspin.
Yep.
And then the I don't know if we got an explanation for the phantom 12-man thing, but yeah, you're right. It looked like maybe somebody was yelling, maybe it was Matt Daniels, but Kevin O'Connell sprints to call timeout because he sees the chaos, and then he turns around and he very sternly yells, I was reading lips, Matt! Yeah. So I don't know what the confusion was there.
Yeah, but allowing yourself, and as Greg Olsen explained too, and it was perfect. He's exactly right. As he explained too, they train up the guys on the coverage, right, to come down and block you into the football. So like when Miles Price did that and got pushed backwards, he was screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, for 2022 for sure. They were, in my opinion, like one of the smartest teams. Hence the situational masters tag, right? Mm-hmm. They were an incredibly smart team. If nothing else, they are an incredibly dumb team now.
Oh yeah,
dumb penalties,
it's crazy,
dumb decisions. And I guess that's where, if we were talking about things I'm most shocked by, that's probably the top one. Because like, what does it take to be smart? It takes discipline. They had it. Where the hell did it go?
I was gonna use it for a hot take, but I'll just say they're the dumbest team in the NFL right now. They're the dumbest team. They are absolutely the dumbest team. You're doing a tight end run on 3rd and 1. You don't have your quarterback insulated and protected for success. You have special teams stumbling all over themselves. Guys dropping passes. Guys not knowing how many people are on the field. This is the dumbest team in the NFL.
I think there are a couple other teams that, like the Jets, might put up a fight in that argument, but yeah, they're definitely down there with all the penalties and there's pre-snap miscommunications and whatnot. All right, boys, let's keep rocking here. Vikings Vent Line.
Yeah. Let's go to Joey and Logan was the one who challenged Jeremiah Searles, I think, for a beer chugging contest and got blown out of the water. But it was an admirable challenge. It was an admirable challenge at the draft party.
Hey guys, glad to be on. Yeah, first time caller, but long time listener. Love your show and basically my therapy session throughout the whole week. But we're calling from Fargo and just glad to be on. I have my puppies here. That's Amber here, mini dachshunds, and the other one's under the blanket. We're just really tired of all these losses and the sadness. So
I mean, I'm not, but
yeah,
of course.
Like the guy for the audio audience on demand, the guy with the giant cheese head, and you were at the draft party too, right?
Yes, I was.
That's right.
I was the only Packers fan at the draft party.
Yeah, it was very bold and noble of you, planting your flag, knowing that this day would come here in Week 12.
I appreciate that. I mean, I am a Timberwolves and a Wild and Twins fan by heart. When it comes to football, I'm a Packers fan. It's only because it's the first game I ever remember watching growing up as a kid. Yeah. That's why I have when we talk about a diehard fanship, that's because that's me in that aspect. But I grew up watching Twins, Timberwolves, Wild, everything else in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's why I will listen and like support and subscribe to you guys like 1,000%.
Yeah,
Love it.
sure.
Appreciate
Yeah, I got to respect that for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Just had a couple of points, had my own notes here, but I just want JJ to play. I just want to get him experience, and it just kind of sucks to see him throw a bunch of interceptions, and like you just lose that experience because now he's off the field. I'm still with you, Mackie, where I just want to be patient. I want to give him this year, even next year, just to kind of see where he's at. But it was hard. It was hard to watch. It was hard watching him get sacked and hold the ball a lot. I thought the defense played super well. And, it's just when our offense can't do anything, it really hurts the defense and probably, yeah. And there's no offensive threat, and that they just get gashed and they get tired. And I really thought we were in it until that special teams play, and Miles Price has been pretty good, but then he's like boom or bust. He has really good times, and then all of a sudden he just has these rinky-dink plays, and we get a fumble, and then the Packers score, and then I really felt like that deflated the whole team, and we just got out of it. So, but
yep, 100%. You guys, hey, thanks for coming on. You guys, those are two of the stars of the draft party last year.
Do not challenge Jeremiah Searles. I don't care if the dude hasn't had a sip of alcohol in 6 months. He just embarrassed that poor guy. And he would have done the same to me.
He was on a, well, I've never seen you chug a beer. You're more of an enjoyer of beer.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if I thought, I drink beer, I could out chug out. No, I couldn't. I'd get humiliated.
It's like Jeremiah tilted his head back.
Yep.
And it was like the Lowry tunnel opened up, and he just poured the beer inside.
It was incredible.
Yeah. All right, back to the vent lines here. Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Yeah, let's go to Sean next year. Sean, what's going on?
Just sitting here. I'm trying to be real quick because this guy's about to melt down like I did after that Miles Price debacle. But I want to say, the Wilfs need to think about something, because your earlier caller from South Dakota was talking about this, I think. Like, people spend their hard-earned money on this. Like, this is the next generation. His mom, her whole family are Broncos fans. I told her today, if McCarthy starts week 1 next year, I'll let him become a Broncos fan.
Oh, wow.
And we thought about it because the deal in our family was like Jeremiah, his mom's a Husker. So it's like, he can be a Husker fan. We'll raise him that way, but I get the Vikings. Well, guess what? I'm not going to let my son watch disasters like this. Like, I don't think Bo Nix is that great, but I'm sick and tired of watching KOC be stubborn and act like he's so much smarter than everybody else. And I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to keep doing these stupid trick plays. Guess what? TJ Hawkinson, I know it's been hammered in. He's not a running back. Okay? He can barely even run a route. He can't block. If you're going to do a tight end sneak, put in Oliver. At least he's big.
Yeah,
I'm sick and tired of this. So
can we? Okay, Sean,
I was texting you.
We have
Congratulations,
to. Sean, when you put your child's fandom on the line, that earns the hottest vent of the week. If you enjoy some Crybaby Craig's hot sauce, we got your back here.
The Pastronaut, you got a Purple Daily Pastronaut shirt.
Yeah,
I love it.
I would rather watch the Pastronaut just throw balls in the ground against the Bears and ever watch JJ McCarthy take a snap again. The kid looks like he's gonna cry in the sidelines. It's like
I love it.
I can't take this anymore.
So yeah, Dex has something for you here, Sean. So hang tight for 1 second. Dex, go ahead.
Yeah, hey Sean. So we're gonna send you some Crybaby Craig's hot sauce, the honey hot sauce, the Pow Pow powder, a hoodie, a branded sweatshirt as well. So Sean, just email me the same link that I emailed you. This link. Just send me back your address, your hoodie size, and we'll get that sent out to you. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the content too.
Yep.
All right, Sean.
And shout out to Crybaby Craig's. Purple 10 for 10% off at crybabycraigs.com. And plus, it's at your local liquor stores, or it's at your liquor stores, at your grocery stores. I found the Crybaby Craig's Chill City Chill. In fact, I'm cracking this open right now. Wow. A little collaboration there with Fulton. Go find this too at your local Crybaby Craig's and beer. It's two of my favorite things. It's living the lifestyle, man. So go find your Crybaby Craig's at your local grocery store and crybabycraigs.com.
North American Banking Company is here powering this episode of Vent Line, and we'll keep scouring. McCarthy spoke. He looked very sad. I'm trying to see if there's any interesting quotes, so we'll get to some of that before the end of the show here. But North American Banking Company, whether you are looking for a better banking experience with checking and savings, or whether you're planning for something bigger financially, buying a home, tackling a renovation, North American Banking Company can give you peace of mind about where you bank. They can't give you peace of mind about the quarterback situation, but they can help you with your banking anyway. So they'll make the transition super easy, too, if you want to switch from maybe a bank that you're not quite as high on. But nabankcode.com/Mackey to learn more. That's nabankcode.com/Mackey. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. And Purple Daily is pumped to be partnered all season with Menards. Menards is your one-stop shop for everything for your car, and that includes Splash windshield washer fluid. If you're planning a road trip this holiday season or anytime during the winter, make sure that you top off the windshield washer fluid before you hit the road. Splash -20 windshield washer fluid is the go-to choice, formulated with special additives to help you see safely wherever you choose to drive. If you can't see the field as a quarterback, they can't help you. But if your windshield is dirty, they can. So head to Menards today and stock up on Splash windshield washer fluid, because performance matters on the road and beyond. All right. Back to the vent lines here. Vikings with a terrible, crushing, embarrassing, demoralizing loss, and one of the worst quarterback performances we've seen in the last 25 years of Vikings football. Who's next?
Let's go to Patrick next year on Vent Line. Hey, Patrick.
Gentlemen, how's it going?
What's up, man?
I'm sad. I'm sad in the micro, but I'm especially sad in the macro today because it occurred to me that there is no 3 to 4 year arc on a rookie scale contract due to the poor drafting, due to the situation we find ourselves in with quarterback. Even if he takes that leap in a year and a half with, the Josh Allen leap, right? There's still so much deterioration. Our team isn't going to be the same this year as it is next year. We're going to lose a bunch of people. We're going to lose Jordan Addison in all likelihood. And so my hot takes off of this are twofold. I don't know who's going to be doing the drafting, but in that 3 to 4 year arc, something else is going to happen. Justin Jefferson's going to turn 30. And so I think in this offseason, under a different regime, everything should be on the table trade-wise, up to and including trading Justin Jefferson. And that's a good idea.
Reckless speculation.
Man, I wish we had even more Crybaby Craigs to give out, because but dude, we're on fire right now in our.
Yeah, I'm a crybaby today. I already have some in the fridge, so don't worry.
No, it's more, and it's less about you being a crybaby, and it's more about commending the temperature of the takes here. Well, Jefferson, they did the thing in the second half there where they show him sad on the sideline. That was awesome, Patrick. Thanks for jumping on. Sad on the sidelines. This is the longest streak of no 100-yard games of his career. And so you could even make the argument like, all right, well, if you don't have a quarterback or an offense to take advantage of his skill set, he can't throw himself the ball. Are you better off like getting assets? I mean, there's a lot of conversations that are open for business between January and April if it keeps headed this direction.
If we continue to trend anywhere close to this, though, you're going to make a quarterback change. Like, it's going to be that simple. You're not going to trade away. Let's trade Addison and Jefferson and, Darisaw, because look, no, you're going to make a change. Like that's the thing. That's why we sort of need to see this. As bad as today sucked, it actually pushes us closer to, okay, there's another check, and it ain't good, right? Because you're not going to trade away your most talented players because, damn it, we're sticking with McCarthy. But that's where this gets to be intriguing. Like, ideally, you would just see this through. But unfortunately for him now, what's left? 6 games? Is that right? In the season,
yeah.
6 regular season games. Unfortunately for him, or fortunately, I don't know, those 6 games are going to be huge. Because if you continue to see this, you ain't going into training camp with, we can make this work. Like they have, we can complain about O'Connell all we want, and I certainly have. But at the end of the day, like he is serving different dishes of game plans and play calling every week now, and all of them are unfortunately resulting in play calling poisoning. They are.
Yeah, it's less. It's like this whole thing is beyond like his questionable run pass splits and
right.
One of the things we were texting about, and it can be a discussion point, but they actually ran the ball on the plus side of the 50 on their second and third. I think it was their second time past the 50. They hammered the run, but I sent you guys a text. I was doing some digging because they ran the ball on the first drive with ease past the 50-yard line. Just chunk, here we go. And then they shut down the running game altogether once they crossed the 50. And I was like, I feel like they do that a lot. So I looked it up on StatHead, and no team in the NFL has fewer rushing attempts on the plus side of the 50-yard line than the Vikings this year. Once you cross the 50, you shut down the run game, is basically them compared to the rest of the league. I think if a lot of other things were operating at a high level, that would be a much more glaring, extreme play calling thing to poke at. But we're kind of beyond that type of detail with where this thing is. So, all right, Dex, who's next on Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel?
You got it. Let's go to Joe. Oh, Joe, we might have a little bit of audio issues there. Restart your phone and join back the room, and hopefully that cleans it up. In the meantime, though, Christine. Let's go to Christine. What's up, Christine?
Hey, Christine.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm going to follow up with what Chancey had to say earlier. I know it was a while ago, but and his beef with McCarthy. And where I have the beef is I feel like Kevin and Josh McCown should have known where his mechanics were at in the beginning before letting quarterbacks walk out the door, and possibly even getting more play in the preseason instead of just a couple snaps in the beginning of the games or whatever he played. And it's just deceiving because we had such a great roster coming into the season, and then we got the injury bug and that. But at the same time, you're building this huge roster and putting all your money and all your chips in on a quarterback that has mechanical issues and now we're at a situation where, like Mackie, you said you want to see him play. Well, what other choice do we have? We have to play him because he's our only option.
Christine, I would hold. Thank you for bringing this discussion topic up. He's not the only option, because they've been raving a lot about Max Brosmer behind the scenes, undrafted free agent. Max Brosmer has done all the right things behind the scenes, according to reports, according to what the offensive coaching staff has talked about. Now, there was a reason why he was undrafted. Like, he didn't have the physical tools of a drafted quarterback. And you can count on less than one hand how many undrafted quarterbacks the last 30 years in the NFL have made a serious impact. Kurt Warner, Tony Romo. Purdy was a seventh-round drafted. He was a pick. That's right. He was a pick. I mean, yeah, you could maybe throw him in that bin as, all right, he could have easily been undrafted.
Right.
But I guess my question to you guys is, if, let's say, McCarthy, they play him against Seattle, and he's atrocious again, just like today. Would you get to the point as an organization where you would say, well, this other guy that's been putting in the work behind the scenes, I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but like, we think he can actually go out there and like run a professional offense. And we'd love to get a look at him going into the season's lost, but it'd be nice to know what you have in both those guys going into. What do you think? Is that something that is a reasonable discussion if McCarthy puts another one of these type of clunkers on?
I think it is, but I think there's also a case to be made that you are, yes, seeing Brosmer play might be instructive, but also seeing McCarthy continue to do what he did today isn't going to help him a bit. So yeah, I could see that. Here's the other. Well, it's not worst case because what we're seeing now is currently worst case. Here's another scenario for you. If you feel in your heart of hearts like Max Brosmer is not prepared to start a game, and you're like, okay, you guys all want to see him, but as Mike Zimmer said about Kellen Mond, I watch him every day in practice. Would you promote John Wolford from the practice squad? And by the way, I have no interest in this, but I'm just saying, just to have a guy that can play and has started games. Like, this is the thing. There's no good out here. Like, there's no good out unless you think that Max can step in and show you something, which perhaps they do. But like she's right. Like, this is turned into what's the answer here? What is the solution here? By the way, I've been doing research.
Dangerous. Could be dangerous.
Looking through some quarterback performances that were mentioned at the top of the show, okay? Only taking passer rating as my instruction. So today, J.J. McCarthy, 34.2. All right? The Josh Freeman game. You all remember it. October 22nd, 2013, Giant Stadium. 39.6. So he had a substantially 5 points. Tavares Jackson, 2006, V Packers in Green Bay. That was a terrible game, right? 35.4. The only one I can find that's worse, we'd like to welcome and thank him. Spurgeon win, yes, in December of 2001 at Green Bay. Passer rating of 20. So he still takes the cake.
Yeah. I was hoping that one of us would do that research between now and tomorrow morning. I'm glad that you have it. We can expound more. That's kind of what I was thinking too. This is one we make fun of some of these other performances.
They're legendary,
right? And statistically, it's in that conversation. It's on that same Mount Rushmore. Justin Jefferson, by the way, spoke in the locker room. I'll have that for you in a second here. Let's go back to Vent Lines before we get to that quote, though. Who's next?
Yeah, let's go to hey Tuck. What's up, man? You're on Vent Line.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep,
we got you.
All right, cool. Can I go a little nuclear?
Go a lot nuclear if
from
you want
the pool.
To. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm in Florida.
Tuck.
He jumps. He's gonna electrocute himself.
Yeah,
in
Tuck,
the pool
don't do it, Tuck. It's nothing's worth it.
No.
This is my dog, Anthony Rizzo. His name's Anthony Rizzo.
Oh,
and he's got his
who's a good boy?
Oh, you're such a good boy. Not camera shy.
Yeah, thank God for Anthony Rizzo because I might have jumped in that pool with a toaster. But can I get my nuclear take? So I think everybody in the Viking organization needs to be held accountable, from ownership all the way down to fans and podcasts. We are not hard enough on this team. We're too positive. We sit on our hands. We don't talk enough BS when we see some of this crap. KOC has no feel. That Hawkinson play I blacked out. I was so mad. No feel. And we're not a mad or like angry enough, I guess, organization from fandom all the way down to ownership. We have to get on these guys. Like you can't do what you just did against your biggest rival. Like you can't. And we need all of us, from fans down to people buying merch to everything. We gotta get, like, I'm sorry, I'm nuclear. I've been watching the Vikings since 1985, and that is one of the most embarrassing, ridiculous. I mean, I'm holding myself accountable, and all I did was sit here and make brats and watch the game. That's my take. I love you guys. Here's Anthony Rizzo.
Anthony Rizzo, and now he's going to take a dump to signify and symbolize that game today. Thank you, man.
World Series champion right there.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
little boy.
Do you feel like there's a much bigger discussion here throughout the week, but just real quick right now, on the podcaster side of the accountability here, we have been to varying degrees pretty to very positive and optimistic about JJ McCarthy sitting in this seat and driving this car in 2025. Mm-hmm. I'll just speak for myself, but I thought, based on trusting Kevin O'Connell, based on even watching some of the training camp practices where, okay, yeah, there's some rough stuff there, but man, there's also some really good stuff at training camp, and the team is putting a ton of trust into him with their quarterback situation the way that it is. I thought it was going to be a lot better in the first 5 or 6 games of his career. I thought it was going to click more. I thought he was going to be more decisive. I didn't think we'd be talking about these mechanical issues that you talk about the first day you step foot into the organization. I thought it was much further along. I was 100% wrong, obviously. I also, as an aside, would like to see, I mean, there's nothing to lose now by just letting it play out and all right, let's see. Can he bounce back? Let's see. But, I mean, as you reflect back on all of our conversations on this podcast, to what extent did we screw up and miss something evaluating, Judd's camp notes, all the different steps along the way.
Sure. I didn't see enough in training camp to be as down on him as evidently I should have been. And the other problem is, like, I don't think the Vikings did either. So it's a very fair question. Why didn't you catch the mechanical problems in training camp? I don't know that they were there. Like, they were somewhat there, but not like this. This is an all-out, like, what the hell? So this is as wrong as I've probably been about an athlete. But that being said, I would have been, if I had hammered him before the fact, I would have been purely guessing that I don't think he's good, which I was clearly not going to go along with. So I take full responsibility. Like, yes, if you want to be mad at me, that's very fair. But that being said, I didn't see this coming. And you know what? Today, in fairness, as bad as it's been of late, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see today coming. I really thought he might make a few steps here and there.
I did too. I thought there was a bounce back.
I've been wrong at every freaking turn. So if you want to fire me, fire my ass. But I've been wrong at every turn about this thing. And yes, there's also a discussion about, well, sports dead. What about the free agent class? Wrong again. I thought Hargrave and Allen, sure, they're older and they've been hurt, but this is two really astute signings. Because 2024, this is as off as I have been about a team in a long time.
I think also we did not take into context, and we were kind of just honestly blinded by what has happened with the C.J. Strouds and Jaden Daniels. Those seasons, rookie season quarterbacks those seasons that they put up were historical. Were things we have never, rarely ever seen. Drake May last year struggled, right? Sam Darnold took 5 years to be good. Matthew Stafford, right? Like, he was the #1 overall pick, and he was on a really bad Lions team, but it took a little bit statistically for him to start clicking, right? So, like, I think we got way too caught up in the roster being really good and the coach being a quarterback whisperer, and the pieces are there. McCarthy doesn't even have to play, doesn't have to be Superman. He just has to not crash the car. Well, he is crashing the car, crashing it, and I think we probably didn't take much into context of how rare it is to have first-year starting quarterbacks come in and just be Superman human beings.
Yeah, but this feels like it does feel like it's beyond, like, oh, he's just a young quarterback struggling, and this isn't just a young quarterback struggling. This is a young quarterback literally thinking about how he's going to step when he throws in the middle of an NFL freeway. When you watch him, it looks like he's thinking about, on a couple of those throws today, oh, I need to get to this point in my drop, and I need to make sure that my spacing isn't too wide on my footwork when I throw this ball to the left.
Yeah. Well,
which is probably part of the reason you're focused so much on the physical stuff that's not intuitive yet, which is why you're missing a lot of the other things that you should be picking up on as you dissect the defense.
He clearly is well, I mean, how many breakdowns did we see by former quarterbacks, including on the ESPN pregame, Alex Smith today? How many breakdowns did we see from different guys that played the position about what's wrong? His feet are too wide. His shoulder is flying open. It's just a litany. It's just you could go on and on about all of the things. And if he's trying to correct those on the fly, but this comes back to my question then. If it's going to be as bad as it was today, are you helping him by playing him? A week ago, I said, absolutely, just play him.
Yeah.
But like, if you're right, Phil, and everything is like, okay, this is good, that's good, this is good. Oh, I just got sacked. Then are you developing him? And like, this is a really, really difficult place to be if you're a Vikings fan right now.
I think, put a pin in this, we'll circle back sometime this week. I think Kevin O'Connell is going to get wandering quarterback eyes this offseason. We already kind of brought up on the Feedback Friday episode, someone joked about Aaron Rodgers. That ain't no joke this offseason.
Yeah.
It is a lot more likely to happen, I think, this offseason than last offseason. Last offseason, it's like just put McCarthy in. You've been sitting on McCarthy. But then you get maybe a 10-12 game look at McCarthy if you're Kevin O'Connell, and you're pissed because he can't operate the vehicle the way that you want.
Well,
and people are getting impatient, and maybe some front office people got fired or whatever. There's a little more urgency to be good right away, which, of course, is right back to where the Vikings always are for 30 or 40 years, and that's away from young quarterback and into random quarterbackville. But I think if this continues with Mac Jones available via trade and Aaron Rodgers a free agent again if he wants to keep playing, the chances for Kevin O'Connell to have wandering quarterback eyes, something to keep an eye on.
And his friend Sean McVay from the Rams can call him up and say, "This is why I've never developed a young QB. This is why we went out and traded for Stafford, you dummy.
I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it.
Hello, dum-dum."
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford's pretty damn good, huh? So, yeah, no, I would not be surprised. And look, I think if O'Connell opens the door, you know as well as I do, the Wilfs will run through it. The Wilfs will be like, veteran quarterback.
It's our comfort zone, yes.
Oh, my God, can we? Brett Favre is here, and oh, my God, yeah, let's do it. Let's get a quarterback.
100%. We'll get to that Jefferson quote here in just a second, but MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to helping to power this episode of Vikings Vent Line, Judd.
Indeed, and yes, it's getting cold outside. It's time to check that HVAC. I've been talking to you about that for a while, but how about the plumbing angle? Because right now, MSP offering a free camera inspection for your drains if you mention my name or Purple Daily. If you are dealing with persistent clogs in your drains, we're talking about, slow draining, backups, sinks or toilets, or you're in an older home, a free inspection now can avoid major issues before they happen, i.e. save you big bucks. Also, MSP continues to do great work in the community. Their HVAC and plumbing technicians right now are collecting non-perishable food donations during their visits. It's a great way for you and them to give back. For info on setting up a visit, call MSP.com as the website or give them a call, 651-615-4292. MSP is also your local carrier dealer, so check them out to learn more about their outstanding carrier products.
Two Men in a Truck. Dex and I can both vouch personally, recently, for Two Men in a Truck and the awesome work they do.
Yeah, they're the experts, okay? They have all different size trucks, too, for like any type of offense, whether you're one-dimensional offense, whether you like to call a tight end run up the middle. Like, they have different type of guys to make your offense the best possible offense it can be. They'll just send you over a spreadsheet. What needs to be moved in and out of this house? I've used them. Phil has used them. What they quote is what you pay, no hidden fees, no service charges. No idea what's going on upstairs in the kitchen, speaking of Two Men in a Truck. But you know what? They helpfully and safely got everything packaged up, and so do we. We try our best, too. Go to twomeninatruck.com and tell them that Purple Daily sent you.
And a shout-out to Pepsi. Hey, I know, listen, he is smiling a lot more on these cups than he is in person right now. And we'll get that quote from the locker room from Justin Jefferson here in just a moment. But Justin Jefferson is on these Pepsi souvenir cups here, which you can get at US Bank Stadium, at Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh locations, and Buffalo Wild Wings. When you order 10 wings, any style, and a Pepsi, you get this cup. There's a QR code on the side. You can scan it, and you can enter to win Victor's very own Polaris Ranger 1000 ATV. And if you win it, he'll bring it right to your house in his little Zubas and whatnot. Pepsi is the official beverage of the Minnesota Vikings, so make sure your fridge is stocked before kickoff. So, he's talking to the media in the locker room, and Alec Lewis from The Athletic quoted Justin Jefferson, who said, "It's frustrating. It's frustrating to lose. It's frustrating to be up here saying the same things every single week, expecting things to change the following week, and we're still in the same spot. We've just got to figure it out." End quote. Judd, you've covered a lot of football here. Where are we at in the Justin Jefferson either demands a... Well, hold on. Let me ask you this way. Where are we at in the Justin Jefferson demands a trade scale? Mm-hmm. Is it skipping the voluntary portions of workouts level, or do you think it's higher than that?
Oh, boy. I think
that dude ain't showing up to voluntaries.
No, and he showed up last year because for the first time in his career, he showed up with the voluntary stuff because O'Connell asked him to, and he did it as a favor. Clearly, he had gotten a new contract, which helped. So no, I don't even know if things are going well in the spring if he's going to show up for those. But this again gets back to, is Justin Jefferson, are they going to tell Justin, hey, sorry, dude, we're going to run this thing back with McCarthy if he's bad for 6 games again? Or are they going to say, you know what, don't worry about it. We're going to pivot. We have to pivot, which I believe that is what they will do unless we see some miraculous progress. They will at least have a competition. If not, to your point, a wandering eye veteran QB, O'Connell's like, you're my guy. So the guy that I could see actually being more upset behind the scenes than Jefferson is Addison.
I could too.
He's a different mentality. Like Justin Jefferson.
He's less mature. He's 100%.
Let's not sleep on what Justin Jefferson is putting up with and being a really good guy about it. Like they talked about in the telecast that he had McCarthy to his house on Wednesday night still. I mean, Justin Jefferson, as far as I can tell, been wrong before about folks, but let's just take what we know about him. Justin Jefferson is a really, really good guy. And so I could see Jordan saying, hold on a second here. I'm number 2. I can't get the damn ball. Like, it would not entirely shock me if Addison demanded out and they actually brought back Naylor. Now, I know that Jordan's really good, but I could see him being a much bigger problem. But if this continues, I don't see them telling Jefferson, cool your heels while McCarthy continues to start. Like, that's the whole thing is we can talk about, well, he should start. And the conversation's fair. But at the end of the day, you still have to go to some really, really good professional athletes and say, hey, sorry about this, but what is important to you is going to take a back seat. That's where I think it's going to get dicey. But I think Addison's a much bigger candidate to melt down than actually Jefferson.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going here. It's kind of crazy because there's still almost 6,000 people here for this therapy session, hour and a half in, and we'll keep rocking live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. If you're just joining us and you haven't already, please click the subscribe button on the Purple Daily channel. You can also check out a bunch of our other podcasts. We have a Score North channel. We've got the Score North Twin Show channel, Flagrant Howls. Bar Down Beauties jumped on board for this hockey season. O-line committee as well. And then the like button on this video. You can help us spread the word. So, Dex, who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
Yeah, let's go to Sharif. Sharif, what's up, man?
Sharif,
What's up, fellas? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you, dude.
I don't know if you have like the NFL draft button ready, but
Always.
the Vikings are on the clock. There's no need to win any more games. Don't finish in the middle. Just get as close to number 1 as possible. Like you guys said, let McCarthy kind of play out the season, and then if you need to draft another quarterback, I'm not opposed to drafting another quarterback either. I remember the Cardinals did that a couple years back. They drafted Rosen, and he was terrible, and then they drafted Kyler the very next year. So I'm not opposed to that either. And I'll leave you with this. If you have not watched Jameis Winston play football today,
it's great.
You got to go watch it.
Yeah. Well, the flea flicker in the first half was great, man. They went to overtime with the Lions in that game.
But they lost, right?
Crazy stuff they did. Yeah. They lost 34-27.
Back-to-back games, man. They've just lost to the Packers and Lions.
But he threw for 366 yards in that game.
He's entertaining.
Just lighting it up. Oh, man. All right. Back to the vent lines here, Dex.
Yeah. Elliot, what's going on, man?
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, what's up, Elliot? Yeah.
Well, yeah, terrible sad day today. I'm calling in from Ohio, where I'm doing my polymer engineering PhD program. And so that was obviously, not the greatest break from my lab work to watch and envision that game overall. Just a kind of couple points because I don't want to take up too much time. I would say I'll leave my hottest take at the end, but I guess as a person who tries to be optimistic about sports, and especially among my friend group from Minnesota, where I'm definitely the most optimistic person in that group, I'm wondering, where can we go? Obviously we need to let this season run out. We need to let JJ McCarthy try and maybe get better, maybe hopefully be just competent at the end of the season. But is there any what is the optimism here is kind of my question there. And then the second thing is me and my friends talk about with draft picks, it's such a lottery. You can't really tell if a player is really going to pan out. Is this first round pick going to work or whatever at the end, because there's a lot of stuff that kind of comes up. But with KOC, our problem amongst my friend group was that we felt his process has just been terrible. Trading up for Dallas Turner, which has been showing flashes, which is good. Mm-hmm. But we didn't agree with that in terms of trading away with so much future capital, thus leaving us with four or five draft picks in with this past draft. So I think he gets one more year. I don't know, maybe not, given the current course of the season. Because I think this process has been better. Stocking those draft picks, giving more chances at pulling the lottery ticket. But it's not looking good so far. And then finally, hottest take. I think, well, I don't even know if it's that hot anymore, honestly. KOC, like, I'm starting to buy what my friend is saying. Under KOC, we've been kept being promised that he's going to be the driving force of the offense. He's going to turn this into a top 10 offense. Well, the past every single year, the Vikings have never had a top 10 offense, and it's been largely carried by the defense. So I'm intrigued by what, Declan's hot take on Monday with Brian Dable, coming in. He's somebody who's worked with Josh Allen. Maybe the schemes on his aren't as good, but the play calling, maybe you can do that. I just don't think KOC is going to be able to take that ego-wise, but who knows? Like, I don't know. I don't know, like, organizationally, this sucks, but, as somebody who has grown up in the David Kahn era of basketball, we're not scraping the bottom of the barrel quite yet in terms of the Vikings. Like, there's a long way to go. So at least it's, it's not going that far quite yet, but it's not looking good.
No, Elliot,
Thanks,
thank you, man. And sorry that your lab work was interrupted by more lab work. The Vikings trying to figure out footwork on their quarterback.
Yes.
What's Barney have to say about this game?
He started barking a little bit, and so I took him out. Here he is. Say hi, Barney.
Who's a good boy?
He watched the whole game. He was not happy about the game.
Barnabas.
Barney, you say hi, Barney. Look
the
at him.
Barnstormer.
Look at him. This is a hot take.
I think that's a stuffed dog.
It's not.
This is the most alert he's looked, I think, in his 4 appearances on the show.
That's true, I guess.
Barney likes to be on the show.
Well. Yeah. Okay. So, hey, Elliot was asking reasons for optimism. What would be 2 reasons for optimism? Not for this year, really, because 4-7, but long-term optimism.
Wow, that's a good question right now. That's a really good question because it felt like going into this. Well, the problem is this. It felt like you went and got a bunch of veteran, or didn't feel like it was. You went and got a bunch of veteran free agents to surround with a young QB who was going to be the biggest reason for optimism. Well, those veteran free agents haven't really panned out. Your team is not young, and your young quarterback is not good, at least so far. So I'll say this. Will Reichert. I mean, dude can make a field goal from anywhere. Dude can go in the parking lot and make a field goal. So, but it's they look at the end of the day, they tried to thread a needle, baby. They really did. They really did. They were not a young team, but they had a young quarterback, and we all sort of, or at least I did, bought in. But it makes it hard now because, the running game is a reason for optimism. Aaron Jones is north of 30. I mean, Jordan Mason, I like, but he also, last week, he had 6 carries.
This is also,
it's very hard.
This is probably the quickest I've gone from this team could be a wagon back in the free agency period and the way they seemingly felt about McCarthy going forward to, wow, quarterback looks like a total disaster right now.
Yep.
Coach has some major blind spots that have manifested more this season than ever before. Front office, I don't know if I trust to even start the process of selecting 10 players.
Yep.
It's like I've gone from, and by the way, they won 14 games with Sam Darnold last year, and all of it's going to get thrown in your face this Sunday if that dude comes out and throws for 280 and Jackson Smith in Jigba is dancing down the sideline, and if you stick it to Sam Darnold and at least prove to yourselves that, all right, well, maybe McCarthy isn't the guy going forward, but we did make the right decision not giving $100 million. But that's the other thing that makes this, the rest of this season, there's the Viking side of it, but then there's what if Sam Darnold wins a couple playoff games with the Seahawks, rendering Judd and a lot of others people's take kind of useless, that, well, he'll melt in the big game. What if he doesn't? All of a sudden, $35 million a year, half the price of Dak Prescott for a guy that is going to get MVP votes and doesn't melt in the big games. Looks pretty good.
All of those things have the potential to turn up the heat on KO's seat really quick. If Darnold plays well in the playoffs, guess what that is? As they called him at St. Therese back in my day, demerits. That's a demerit on KO's record.
Or is that Well, you're saying because
he's got quarterback power.
Yes, but does he have full quarterback power?
He has enough that would be considered, I think, a permanent check mark on his record.
Do you think he wanted to get rid of Sam Darnold, or do you think that was more of a front office driven? Like if Kevin, let me ask this: if Kevin had to rank, like over a 2-year period, giving up an extra draft pick for Drake May, keeping Sam Darnold at $33 million, or riding with J.J. McCarthy, do you think Kevin said no to? We're going to draw a line in the sand on that draft capital for Drake May. $33 million is a bridge too far for Sam Darnold. Therefore, we have to go with option C. Or did he get overruled on a couple of those?
I think when it comes to quarterbacks, KO has a huge say. I don't think he gets... I think he probably has thoughts that he shares about, hey, Sam Darnold's been really good. But I'm pretty sure, like, just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, I'm pretty sure the conversation was, we'll make Darnold an offer. He'll probably turn it down, and then we'll keep Daniel Jones. Because Daniel Jones, he'd be playing right now. Like, there's no question. So, KO does not... I don't think the Wilfs are going to let him skate on the quarterbacks.
I have legitimately... I might flip a coin to decide which of my 2 hot takes I want to fire for tomorrow. Because they both lead to 2 very different paths. But they're very indicative... Little teaser. They're very indicative on the outcome for Sunday's game against Seattle. That's where my head's at right now. That's where my head's at for my hottest take.
Like you're saying, like the path the Vikings should take moving forward hinges on the Seattle game.
Yeah, a little bit. I would say mostly like the spirit of my take hinges on the result of the Seattle game. But both of them are, in my opinion, great hot takes. But both of them are like the opposite yin yang of each other too. So
yeah.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Maybe I'll just flip a coin. If it's heads, it's this one. If it's tails, it's that one. We've never done that before.
Well, I hope that both takes could see the light of day at some point this week.
Yeah,
like you can't hold out.
I guess
on
I
us.
could. Yeah, I could.
You
I
can't
could
just
do both.
like not give both takes.
I could give both. Yeah, that's true. I could have.
Or maybe
both
you
in the
save
arsenal.
one for Tuesday or something.
Yeah, that's true too.
All right, let's go back to the vent lines here.
Yeah, from one Phil to another Phil. Phil, what's going on, man? You're on Vent Line.
Hey, Phil.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we got you.
Hey, Vikings fan living in New Mexico. Just one before my dad dies. He's north of 75, not looking so great. I think I'll do a compliment sandwich. So Jalen Redmond, tremendous today. Our UDFAs seem to be good, and our draft seems to be ooftas. So I think we're seeming to break the trend of making the playoffs every other year. Next year, I just really don't like the outcome. We're not a young team. When Harrison Smith retires, we don't have a safety. We don't really have reliable secondary players. I hope we don't have a tight end that's overpaid. And our best tackle might be injury prone. So not looking good. With that in mind, my hottest take is I think our best chance to win one before we die is to start J.J. McCarthy the next year. And this is why. I think this is the only way that we finally bottom out enough to actually get a reasonable quarterback. And our core is old and overpaid. And so I think there's a 5% chance that maybe he puts it together with that many games. I don't think he will. I think finally we'll bottom out enough to make a quarterback that's either good or at least better. And then I think we can continue our trend. If it seems like for whatever reason, every decade in a year ending in 7, 8, or 9, we make an NFC championship push. And that would be kind of fitting the timeline. So
yeah,
not looking good for the next short-term years to come. So
I'm glad Phil brought this up. And there's he's not wrong. Okay, ride the whole thing out with McCarthy. The whole thing being, regardless of how bad he may look the rest of this year, you give him the entire offseason to try and fix mechanics and whatever, and then hit the reset button. 2026 plays another 17 games. And to Phil's point, if it's bad, cool. 4 wins, 3 wins, whatever the total is, and now you're back to a really good quarterback draft in 2027, picking in the top 10 again, taking our swing. But here's the thing. The problem with that might be sound process if you're in it for the whole long haul, if you're a Wilf. But the people that you employ after a season like this, they feel like, oh, man, we gotta win some games in 2026, because if you follow up this season with a 4-win season you ain't going to be around to see that new quarterback and that new life cycle in 2027. And this is what happens in the NFL. Front offices and coaches are coaching first and foremost to win games and save jobs, where maybe a bad season where you take a step back and cleanse the palate is the right thing for the long-term arc of the franchise. But it'll be a new GM and a new coach. If you do that and you win 4 games or 5 games in 2026, Kevin O'Connell ain't going to be your coach, and Kwesi isn't going to be your general manager. Fair to say?
Well, yeah, and the Wilfs also, like, aside from the disaster that was, Les Frazier's first season, for the most part, the Wilfs also don't, I mean, he's talking about a Zolgadian soft tank. Like he's basically saying, allow yourself to tank, which I've been a fan of. The Wilfs have never shown, on purpose, any inkling that they will do that. If Kevin O'Connell comes in tomorrow and says, okay, we're going to move on, and, we're going to try to trade for Mac Jones, we'll talk to A-Rod, whatever, the Wilfs are going to be thrilled. So I get what he's saying. There are groups, I think, that might go along with that. The Wilfs ain't one. So I don't see them ever signing off on, like, if O'Connell said, okay, let's see it through, but here's what we're going to do. And don't fire me because we're doing this on purpose. Ziggy and Mark are going to be like, no way. Like, they're convinced this team is a championship team going into every season. Yeah. It's a great asset, and it's their worst thing.
I also like on the hedging option of, like, well, you got to bring in someone to create a little more competition for JJ McCarthy. I'm having a hard time, like, I'm going to need a name. Like, who is it that you're going to bring in that's going to, like, compete with him, but you're not going to annoy, like, Rodgers. If you do the Rodgers thing a year after all the rumors, you're not bringing him in to compete in training camp with McCarthy. He's your starting quarterback.
Right.
If you trade for Mac Jones, and by the way, that'll be like a 3rd-round pick, maybe even a 2nd-round pick for Mac Jones, because he was a 1st-round pick, and now he is started to live up to the last glimpse of him. If he doesn't play again this year, is, that's the 1st-round pick that we thought we were going to get. That's probably a 2nd-round pick in compensation. You're not trading a 2nd or 3rd-round pick for him to compete with J.J. McCarthy in training camp. So, like, who's the quarterback that is below those guys on the list that you're going to bring in here to compete with McCarthy? By the way, you're going to steal half of his reps or more throughout the offseason, so now you're hurting his chances of reaching his potential. Right. I just think you should definitively pick a path for 2026, and if it's McCarthy, cool, then go. If he's terrible again, you win 5 games, 4 games. Or rip the Band-Aid off and do what the Niners did with Trey Lance, which is just say, damn it, we screwed up, and we're going to just move off this as quick as we can.
It sure feels like today got you closer to door 2, right? Like, it feels like today it's getting you closer to, we cannot do this. Not we're going to try. Like, we're not seeing enough right now. And, I mean, it's very clear that O'Connell is at his wit's end. The other problem is O'Connell is basically sending up smoke signals at this point, telling us, I am not seeing what happens in games and practice. So he's like, we get to games and it's different.
Yeah, so that's weird.
So whatever he's doing isn't working, and he's going to say, I'm doing my job. So I think today moved us one step closer to what you said for Group B, which is you're going to get a veteran starting quarterback.
Yeah, and all of those paths for me, Pendleton Whiskey is going to be
Barney Pendleton Whiskey.
Barney and Pendleton, a great combo.
Would they have had a better chance to win if Barney was the quarterback today? So Pendleton Whiskey is your friend if you are a Vikings fan, because Pendleton Whiskey is a proud partner of the Minnesota Vikings, and they've got these 2025 10-year stadium anniversary bottles that you can find at your local liquor store. And if for some inexplicable reason your liquor store of choice doesn't have these, then you put the pressure on them. You ask them politely, and respectfully. Yes,
sure. You and your friends bring the blitz right to the front door.
You line up behind your friend like Micah Parsons lined up behind his defensive lineman friends, and you run a stunt. Whew. But Pendleton Whiskey, it's not just poured; it's earned. In Minnesota, nothing is given. Clearly, not the yards, not the wins, not the respect. You earn those things, and Pendleton Whiskey is the whiskey you want for your Vikings game days. 2025 Pendleton Distillers, ProximoSpirits.com. Please drink responsibly. Underdog is here to make watching football more fun.
Yeah, that's right. From underdog to that dog. You're right, Barnabas. Barnabas is an actual dog. That's good to know because I see him looking around and he's making good faces there. At underdog, sometimes I'm making faces because sometimes I get my sweat on and then I don't get the result I want. But sometimes it's still an absolute blast. I go higher or lower on so many different things on underdog. You can do cross sport entries, which is pretty cool. Also, our audience at Score North, they're doing a great job getting big wins, up to 25 times your money, which is sweet. It's a little extra cash in your pocket, especially great with holiday seasons now around the corner. Go sign up with promo code SCORE, SKOR. Play for your first $5 and get $100 in bonus entries. Go sign up at Underdog with promo code SCORE.
Hit the on button there, professional. Okay, who's next on Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel?
Agent Cody Banks. Cody Banks, what's going on, man? You're on Vent Line.
Hey, that was a rough game. I watched it on fast forward. I had some chores to get done. My wife's dad's coming into town for the weekend. It looked especially bad, just back to back failed plays. I'd say that Kwesi has been doing about as good of a job with the front office as the state of Minnesota at inspecting bridges over the years. It's been rough. I mean, how many players do we have on our roster that other teams have already indicated they're not worth paying? Because I can count at least 4. Ryan Kelly, TJ Hawkinson, Hargrave, Allen, big contracts that are just like, why? Everybody else knew it's not worth the money.
Yeah, Will Fries you could probably throw on that list.
5, yep. But I think he's been doing about as good of a job as me maintaining my yard. You know, this is god awful. This is terrible.
You're trying, man. You're trying.
Yeah. Anyway, if the Wilfs need a yard guy, I'm available.
You're free. Cody's your guy. Call Cody. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Cody.
Thanks, Cody. Appreciate it, man. Let's keep rocking here on Vikings Vent Line.
Yeah, let's try Joe again. Hey, Joe, what's going on, man? You're on Vent Line.
Hey, what's going on?
There we go. We got Joe now. Yeah.
Yeah, I having some audio trouble there with my phone and stuff. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, do we miss Darnold by now?
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even after the disappointing, well, gosh, maybe we can get the first seed in the playoffs, and then we got dumped. Okay, but we got a week to work on it, and maybe O'Connell can work with Darnold and say, hey, that was bad, but we're going to the playoffs. We got the Rams, but we can beat these guys, and then it looked worse. But now it's almost like it's an ascending roll down the hill of hell because Darnold's playing real well, except for last week with 4 interceptions, and now McCarthy, who I feel bad about it. I mean, I love the kid. He's 22, did great at Michigan, national champions, but didn't throw the ball that much, ran the ball a lot, and then we got away from running the ball. And now we're into 6 games, and we had 8 false starts and all passing games, driving us nuts. And then now we're trying to run it more, but we're anemic to the end zone. So I'm like, what are we going to do, But I love the Vikings, and I'm sitting here waiting to get on to talk to you guys, and everybody's upset, and everybody wants, us to do better. I knew that this year was going to be one of those, he's either going to be mediocre, he's going to be bad, or we're going to light it up like last year and have that big win season. But I also told myself that it's going to be probably till 27 or 28 that we're going to rock. But I think Jefferson's been pretty good about keeping his attitude straight about being with this team. But you've seen the look on the sidelines. I mean, there was no helmet throws, at least that we didn't see on video. But and you're looking at O'Connell, and he just looks like, oh no, the whole thing is just flooded out. What are we going to do? And I know we're in Green Bay, but the Packers are a good football team, but they're not that good. I mean, come on, right? I mean,
their defense is badass, Joe. They have a ridiculous defense.
McCarthy and O'Connell share one thing in common. They both look shell-shocked. They both look like they're absolutely at their wits' end about why does this continue to happen to me? That's how they look.
It concerns me because I thought this week we were going to either be what we just saw, or we were going to do the Lions game and kick the butt again. So I'm like, now I'm looking at, okay, we got 6 games left, and I got the NFL Sunday ticket. I live in Illinois, but I love the Vikings. I'm not going to miss it. Wearing my jersey, wore it out for breakfast, going to show my pride. 3 people showed me their Packers crap when I went out for breakfast. I said, well, I'm not optimistic, but I'm going to be there for my Vikings. But I love watching your guys' show, and I've got so much more I could say about it. You know, I'm very, very depressed because I love the Vikes, and I know the playoffs are out of the question, but I just can't bring myself to be one of those fans where I can tank the rest of the year just to get a better draft pick. That just doesn't feel right. But is that what we need to do, though?
Yeah, Joe, thanks for coming on, man. Well, at this point, yeah, winning games only matters in the context of JJ McCarthy is showing major flashes, and if you get games where he plays like garbage and you win games, it's a disaster going forward. This point to the end of the season.
Yes, but I mean, again, players don't tank, but players are put in situations to tank, and there's nobody that does a better job of tanking than a starting quarterback who is in way over his head and simply can't operate. Well, that's the definition right now of McCarthy.
Yep. And then on the Packers, their offense is very up and down, and Jordan Love has clunkers once in a while, but their defense, after this game today, they're going to wind up with one of the top 3 yards per play defenses in the league for the season. And I think they're going to jump from like 7th in scoring defense for sure into the top 5. It is a championship level defense with Micah Parsons that they have in Green Bay. And if they can get the peak version of their offense that you see sometimes, they're a contender to win the Super Bowl. But can they get that offensive consistency? Okay, let's go. Let's do one more here.
Yeah.
Put a wrap on this therapy session.
Q, what's up, man? Bring us home.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Q?
Hey, man. So just a couple things. This was one of the just worst games I've seen since that Vegas 3-3 game. Man, it was just bad. Or I think it was one time, I think we had Chris Mullins and it was like frozen in Lambeau and we just couldn't do anything at all. Just killing me. But the thing that I don't understand with the Vikings is what is going on with their whole like talent evaluation part of the organization, man? Because it's like, you know, JJ, what were they seeing with this guy? Just from since he's come back, I mean, they decided he didn't need to play any preseason games. He comes in and it just looks like everybody's just like, oh man, we didn't even know he was going to be like this. And I'm like, how? What was he showing that looked any different than what he's been doing? It doesn't look like has any composure in the pocket. It doesn't look like he's even got a guy that he wants to throw it to. I just see him out there bouncing. Man, it just blows my mind. And these Vikings kill me, man. They break my heart, man. But thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, Q. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's just bad. It's really bad. And the talent evaluation part of it, there's obviously there's the college talent evaluation part of it, but then there's the pro talent evaluation part of it too that has let them down at least in a couple spots in this free agent cycle. But Jeff Okudah, that was the defense has been worse in part because they thought Jeff Okudah could come in and either A, be their third cornerback, or B, they didn't need a third cornerback because they're going to try some different things schematically. Right. And this is the worst defense they've had under Brian Flores, I think. So,
feel like it.
Before we say goodbye here, any final? Well, plenty. Hottest Vikings takes tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time, live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Pie chart, Chef Dex. But any final stamps you guys want to put on this thing before we say goodbye?
No, it was just awful. It was terrible. I mean, it's just it was brutal to watch. It was painful, and I have no desire. I have no desire to continue watching games like that. I thought there might be progress, and there was not any progress. In fact, it might have gotten worse, if that's possible.
And is it going to get better in Seattle against Sam Darnold and that Seahawks defense?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so. So, thank you guys for hanging out with us for over 2 hours here. This post-game therapy session. Vikings lose 23-6 at Lambeau Field. And we got a lot more on this tomorrow morning, live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, 9 a.m. Central Time. For the Sports Dad, for Dex, I'm Phil. And we do just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.